A community in rural Ontario is grieving after a deadly crash took the lives of 5 children on Friday. And tonight we are...
I mean, car crashes are one of those things that, like, we've largely, we've at least begun to desensitize to, because what do? Not drive cars? I mean, the alternative is that we have robots drive cars, and that is coming, and hopefully that will resolve all of our issues with getting into nasty car accidents. But until then, you're still jumping in you're still going to be jumping into a cylinder of metal that hurtles across the earth at speeds that you wouldn't survive if you're not inside the cylinder of metal. Like if you hit the ground. Driving is inherently dangerous. How many people die from motor vehicles in Canada every year? How many people die in the US? Per capita. Per capita. I also want just the normal figures, but it'll do that for me.
Learning more about the victims involved in the accident. Police have...
Oh, where's the front? Let me move that. Where's the front part of this car? Where is it? What? All right, I'm gonna move my camera over here because they always put the stuff at the bottom. All right, I gotta get off my sources. There we go. So the back of this one, so this was a high speed head-on collision. Like, whoa.
Haven't released the names of the people in the crash, but CBC...
They have to like strap the doors down. Oh, they found the wheel.
He has spoken to a family member who wasn't involved in the incident. The two-vehicle collision happened in Mapleton Township, that's northwest of Kitchener-Waterloo. It involved a van carrying 10 passengers and an SUV.
Where was it?
Kitchener-Waterloo.
North of that.
Happened in Mapleton,
Ontario. Mapleton, Ontario. Okay. So very, very tiny community. Couple pools, just a couple houses, really. Farming community, St. Thomas. Oh, that's London. Yeah, I used to live down over here. That sucks. Holy crap. 5 kids died?
Township, that's northwest of Kitchener-Waterloo. It involved a van carrying 10 passengers.
So, one vehicle had 10.
And an SUV occupied by just the driver.
We had 11 people. 11 people total in the accident. And 5 kids died. Why were they carrying so many kids?
4 girls and 1 boy were killed, all part of the same family. 6 other people.
Oh. Whoa. Like I thought for a second there, it was like, oh, maybe they're transporting, they use like a school thing, right? 1 family.
Including an infant, were injured. CBC's Kate Bickard joins us now with more on this. Kate, what do we know about this family that was involved in the crash?
So we know that the 10 people that were in the van together, they are all part of one family. So it was grandparents, parents, and children. As you mentioned, Ontario Provincial Police in Wellington County are not identifying the family, but
I mean, like, 1 infant was injured, so 5, oh my goodness.
We did speak to Nancy Dirksen, who confirmed that these are her family members.
Let me get rid of that just so you can see the actual image. All right, let's continue.
It was 4 of her sisters and her young brother who died.
I mean, that is terrible.
Now, Nancy shared a photo from her wedding day with her whole family. She and her husband, Henry, are in the middle, and she added arrows for her siblings who have died.
The very ones that I was looking at there, you got the arrows at the bottom here. The deceased. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is terrible.
Now, Nancy declined to be interviewed, saying that they will send a family statement later when they are ready. But she did also put a post on an online fundraising website where she said her family is living through a tragedy no one should ever have to face. Now, her mother remains in hospital with a number of injuries. Her 15-month-old brother is...
I was gonna say, if 5 people die, what, you got the other 6 in the accident that are varying degrees of injured.
It's also still...
Like, you don't just walk away when your vehicle looks like that.
In hospital. She said her father is also recovering from injury.
This has taken most of its damage to the back end. So, was this like a cross hit? Somebody hit the back end. I want to see the other vehicle again. Because damage here, all this could be from a roll off the road.
Kate, the community that this family is from is small, and people will know this family.
Tiny town.
How is the community grieving?
Well, people are still going out to the site. They are taking flowers, they're taking teddy bears and stuffed toys, leaving notes for the family just to let them know that they are thinking about them. One of those people was Joanne Marshall, who...
Okay, we can see the other vehicle here. Looks like damage to the front. So we have this big car, obviously the one with the large family, right? Because there's no way you're gonna fit 10 people into that. So this has to be the larger family. It looks like the front of this vehicle clipped the back of this vehicle, and that's where all the fatalities were. Like, gonna be the people sitting in the back there. I don't know how on a straight road like this you might have had one swerve and then clip, or it doesn't look like there's a corner there, right? Let me see. I mean, there's a corner right there. Could a vehicle have been pulling out and then got clipped and then they rolled off this way? It'd have to be, right? Stop sign here. So, so the car coming on this road where the accident is, like a crash happening on this road here isn't going to be horrible because you have a stop sign and you have a road. So I guess you can't see if there's another road because stop sign, they can't run through that. So any crash happening on this road is going to be really slow, not lead to this level of devastation. So it'd have to be someone coming down this road very quickly, and then probably someone pulling out that does the clip. And from the looks of the damage, now I'm not a police investigator. They'll figure it out and figure out what happened. But I'm guessing the family was pulling out and the car was going along this road and clipped them. That would be my best guess. How that ends up with them both over here, you'd need... Well, we only see the one car over here.
One of those people was Joanne.
Where's the other one? the angle switches. They switch the
Let
angle
them know
so
that they are
quickly
thinking
there.
about them. One of
Like, that means the other car is over here, right? Because this road, and you're actually looking at
those
it.
people was Joanne Marshall.
No. You're up closer. So yeah, that means the other vehicle is over here. You just can't see it, right? And so they both ended up in this field somehow. And it looks like there's debris here. So the accident might have happened here. Car coming through. They collide here and end up in the field. I'm sure we'll get more information.
Those people was Joanne Marshall, who was there today. She stopped by. Her daughter was one of the first people to stop and help after the crash on Friday night. Joanne says that she drives by that area often. It's near her home. And also as a mother, she really feels this tragedy.
That's horrible.
Can't imagine. One person is terrible. Never mind a whole family almost. Yeah, just terrible,
5 kids.
devastating, so sad. So we talked to her for a little bit, and then yeah, we didn't know how bad it was till maybe 6 hours later.
There's also an online fundraiser, as I mentioned, and people are looking for ways to help in any way that they can. But as you mentioned, it's a small community, and people are also expressing a lot of gratitude, mostly for the people who stopped, and also for the first responders, many of whom were volunteer firefighters.
Kate, this was a rural intersection, and we can see from the pictures, there's not really a lot around. There's farming. It seems to be wide open. And police have now launched a safety campaign around these kinds of intersections. What does it involve?
So the Stop, Look, Listen campaign was launched. It was launched today. It actually isn't because of this accident, but police said it's a terrible reminder of why this kind of safety is needed, that people need to stop at rural intersections. So
I mean, it was being launched because these kind of things happen.
they'll be stopping drivers who are taking part in maybe unsafe practices, those rolling stops at stop signs, reminding them not to do that sort of thing. And that campaign runs until Sunday.
Okay, CBC's Kate Bickert. Kate, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so for more on this, I'm joined by Sandy Shantz. She is the mayor of the township of Woolwich, where some of the members of the family are from. Mayor, thanks so much for your time tonight. How are you holding up?
Pretty well. It was quite a shock to everyone to hear of the accident. It's so tragic.
Yeah, I think that's probably the reaction. Well, I know that's the reaction really right across the country when we hear about an accident like this. What can
Like, this accident had as many fatalities as the shooting that happened in BC. Like, holy crap. I mean, my condolences to the family. That's just something horrible. Okay, let's look at the actual numbers. Here are the latest figures from the national agency that tracks this. United States, 39,254 traffic deaths in 2024. The final NHTSA count, with the early estimate of 36,640 for 2025. Like, there's so many of these accidents. We are looking at 5 numbers. This is the US, so we're getting to Canada, but like, look at the numbers are huge. With a population of roughly 340 million, the 2040 figures works out to about 11.5 deaths per 100,000 people. Yearly? What? Okay. A little calculus. Off screen. See if I arrive at their same number. So we'll take the 39,000, we'll put it into million. Well, I'll times that by. I mean, okay, I got. It looks like they use this number. I was not scaling it to the 100,000 people. Okay, let's go to Canada. The most recent solid total is 1,931 deaths in 2022. Transport Canada. So, population, we usually look at a scale of 10, right? Even if we scale ours up to 2,000, so that'd be 20,000. It's still half of what we're seeing for the U.S. deaths. So does that mean Canadian roads are safer? Hopefully. Yeah, okay. Against a population of 38.9 million, that's a rate of roughly 5 deaths per 100,000. So a little less than half than what we see in the U.S. So the U.S. roads appear to be a little less safe. And recent reporting puts Canada's rate at about 4.9 per 100,000, consistent with that. Okay. Let's see, how does, did I ask for the UK numbers too? I want to compare it across to Europe. So in the per capita terms, America is roughly 2.3 to 2.5 times more likely to die in a motor vehicle crash than Canada. That gap is well documented. Canada consistently sits among the safer countries for road deaths, which makes things like this more rare, but clearly not impossible. A couple of caveats worth flagging. The years don't line up perfectly. The cleanest US numbers run through 2024, while Canada's most recent confirmed national total is 2022. Since Transport Canada releases its collision statistics with a longer lag, both countries also show the same pandemic-era pattern. Deaths spike around 2021 and have been declining since. The underlying rates have driven in opposite directions over the last decade, or the US rate climb while Canada's edged down. Oh, the underlying rates have drifted in opposite directions over the last decade or so. The US rates climbing while Canada's edged down, which has widened the gap between the two. The other note on methodology, these counts are traffic crash death collisions on roads. A slightly broader all-motor vehicle death figure that include off-roads, non-traffic incidents would run a bit higher in both countries, but the road crash numbers above are the standard basis for cross-country comparison. That's good. Can you give me this comparison for several countries in Europe as well? I'd like to look at the United Kingdom, France, Spain, Germany. Let's see what the other numbers are. Oh, did I close that? I did not.
Can you tell me about the community that you're from, Woolwich? I know members of this family are in your community, and this is an area where there are many small communities outside of the Waterloo area. Is that right?
I mean, like, I lived in that area, all farmland. Like you got a couple big cities, and then you got small communities and farmland, and then another big town, and then small communities and farmland, and then another big town. So lots of tiny communities.
That's correct. There's rural areas and smaller towns and settlements as well. And then I always like to say a community is built of multiple communities. So there are many sort of smaller communities within us, and I would say that this particular family is part of a strong faith community that will be supporting them and surrounding them, I expect.
I mean, like, this is horrible. And it would be all the little kids sitting in the back.
Yeah, I mean, in small communities, in small towns like yours, when as the news trickles out, people will know a connection, or people will know this family directly. I mean, how are members in your community dealing with this?
I mean, they're talking about other people and other. They go back to the actual incident here.
Is known, and the family sort of makes known what they need and would like. I know this community to be very generous and very helpful and caring, and I know they will.
We're not going to get any other information.
Step up.
About the
they've
accident.
got a long road.
Is this the crossway right here? They're making this look like it's the intersection where it happened. So we definitely have a high-speed road here. Like, you can see the vehicles speeding on by. We think the cars have rolled off to this left-hand side, right? So this vehicle, maybe... How do they get over there? Like, maybe they're crossing through. This hits them. Like, say this bike is the other car, right? Crossing this way. This car is where they would have stopped, and they cross through. The car swipes them in the back end. And it's got so much force and momentum that it carries both cars over to this side into the ditch area here. Because you couldn't get hit going that way, you'd end up on this side, right? So the guy crossing this, the car, this one, the vehicle going this way, the damage was to the back end of one vehicle and the front end of the other vehicle. So it would make sense that the family vehicle, the family SUV was here, and they were crossing to go that way, because they took the damage to the back end. And the car going this way would have taken damage to the front end, because the front end needs to collide with the back end of this vehicle to get the scene of the vehicles at the end, which is them over here with the back of the SUV torn open and the front of this one torn open. So, I mean, in the end, fault goes almost always to the person who has damage to the front of their vehicle, right? Because you're expected to be able to control your vehicle and be able to stop your vehicle. There are exceptions, of course. I'm not going to lay blame until there's the full investigation, obviously. That's just what I think based on the data we've seen. All right, let's have a little look at some of the other countries. Ooh, it gives us charts. I love charts. Okay. So US by far the worst, 11.5 per capita. Canada's actually second worst. Some of that US bleeding over into our country. We adopt their kind of road systems and road rules. I mean, they really are in a league of their own. At the same time, we're definitely stacking up all of the countries that will have low rates here, because there are some places in India and there are some other countries which, holy crap, the roads are horrible. Oh, I got a message. Hey bro. Oh, maybe I'll check that out. Thanks. Okay, where are some places that let's finish. France 4.8, Spain 3.7, Germany 3.3, United Kingdom 2.5, really low. What are some countries that have high fatalities per capita for motor vehicle accidents? Can you give me their numbers? United Kingdom, Germany, Spain. So we're actually decently high. And there's more we could do, because United Kingdom has a lot less. A few things worth noting on the comparison. Okay, the 4 European countries all cluster fairly tightly between 2.5 and 4.8 per 100,000, with the UK among the safest in Europe and France the highest of this group. France runs a bit above the EU average, which sits at around 4.5 per 100,000. Canada falls right in the middle of the European pack, basically level with France. The US stands out sharply. Zimbabwe, 41. What's the American number? 11. Liberia, 39. Eritrea, what the heck? I've seen Eritrea a couple times now. Let me just pull this up on a map. No, that's the town where it happened. Where's my map? I gotta pull this out. Okay, here we go. Eritrea. Okay, so this is right next to Sudan, Ethiopia, right along the Red Sea there. Okay. So Eritrea, South Sudan, 37. Congo, 35. Namibia, 35. Okay. Outside. Where are road deaths the highest? Africa. Okay. Outside Africa, Vietnam, 31. Tonga, 33. Yemen, 29. But all the worst ones, Africa. They drive cars fast there, apparently. There is no road safety.